Hello, this is the Bible in Fewer Words. We are Carol and Steve Wells. This is episode 21, Genesis chapters 42 through 45. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Carol.
Today, we can just start in, I think.
Yeah, because the last chapter ended with a famine in Egypt.
Oh, yes.
And
Joseph was interpreting the Pharaoh's dream.
And it involved some famines, and the famine came true.
Okay, so here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 42, verse 1. When Jacob heard that there was grain in Egypt, he said to his sons, "I've heard there's grain in Egypt. Go get some so we can live." So Jacob's sons went to Egypt to buy grain. Benjamin stayed home with his father. When Joseph's brothers arrived in Egypt, they bowed to Joseph and asked to buy grain. They didn't recognize Joseph, and he pretended not to recognize them.
We might want to stop here just a little bit, right?
Yes.
Because Joseph is in Egypt.
Uh-huh.
We kind of knew that because he was sold to Potiphar, and he ended up going to prison because he was accused falsely.
Oh, of raping the
Potiphar's
Pharaoh's
wife.
Oh, Potiphar's wife.
Potiphar's wife.
Okay.
But the Pharaoh put him in prison, and then he interpreted some dreams, and the Pharaoh heard about it, and so he had him interpret his dreams, and because he did so good, he might put him in charge of everything in Egypt.
Okay.
And so that's why when they go to Egypt, they go to the guy that's in charge. And that's not really the Pharaoh anymore. It's Joseph.
It's Joseph. He's in charge.
He is.
And they don't recognize him. That does seem a little silly.
It seems very silly. Yeah. I mean, they...
A lot of years have gone by, though.
Have they?
Well, I think so, because...
I don't know about that.
Well, he was in prison for a couple of years after she accused him of rape.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so some years have passed by. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now he's probably dressed...
He's dressed differently.
Although he always had a nice coat.
Yeah, now he's probably got some Egyptian stuff, looking more like an Egyptian. So I guess it's possible. Anyway, according to the story,
they don't
recognize him, but he recognizes them.
Yes. Joseph's brothers said, "We are 12 brothers, the son of one man in Canaan. The youngest is with our father, and one is missing." So I guess
he's giving Joseph some clues, just in case he didn't know who they were. Now he probably has it figured out.
Yeah,
because he's the missing son.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead?
Okay. This is verse 14. Joseph said to his brothers, "You are spies. You can't buy grain unless you bring your youngest brother to Egypt. One of you will be in prison, while the rest of you go fetch your brother. You may take some grain back with you to feed your family."
All right, so there's kind of one of the brothers is going to be a deposit?
Yeah, it ends up that the next verse says they left Simeon in prison and returned home to get their youngest brother, Benjamin.
Okay, so they're getting a little bit of grain so they don't starve on their way back.
And Joseph really wants to see his youngest brother, Benjamin. So he's making him go back and get him. Now, this is a long trip.
Yeah. I hope they have enough
They're
grain.
going back and forth like it was just, going into the next county. But it's a long trip. It's hundreds of miles.
Okay. And he wants them to bring their youngest brother back because he's also a favorite of the family, isn't he? Joseph was a favorite.
Joseph was a favorite, and Benjamin was a favorite. And they were the favorites, I guess, because of their mom.
Oh.
Rachel was... Yeah. Jacob's favorite wife, and I think God kind of liked her the most too. I don't know.
Yeah, so Rachel had those two kids.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, she did.
Because the other
kids she had.
Yeah, the other kids were from Leah or the concubines, Bilhah and Zilpah.
Right.
Okay.
Verse 29. When they arrived in Canaan, they told Jacob about their trip to Egypt, including the fact that they had to leave Simeon there. Jacob was upset when he heard that Simeon was in prison, but Reuben said to him, "Kill my 2 sons. if I don't bring Simeon home.
Okay. Why would a father say that?
I don't know, because it's the Bible. That's the kind of thing you say in the Bible.
Well, and Jacob, I could see that he was upset because one of his sons was left there in prison.
Right.
But Simeon, I don't think, was a particularly favorite son or anything.
Yeah.
And so he's agreeing that, all right, if Simeon doesn't come back, I'll kill 2 of my grandchildren and 2 of your kids. I mean, who are 2 of your kids, Reuben?
Yeah, Reuben's going to kill 2 of his sons. If they say, we'll bring them back. If you don't, just kill 2 of my sons.
All right.
That's how strongly I feel about it. That's my guarantee, yeah. So now we're at the end of 42.
Yes. All right. Jacob and his sons ran out of the grain they brought home from Egypt. So Jacob said to his sons, "Go back to Egypt and buy us some food." Judah said to his father, "The man said to us, 'I don't want to see your face unless your little brother is with you.' If you let Benjamin come with us, we'll go back to Egypt. If not, we won't." So Jacob agreed to let Benjamin go with his brothers. When they arrived in Egypt, Joseph released Simeon and provided a fancy meal for his brothers. But Benjamin got 5 times as much food as his brothers.
And Benjamin at this time sounds like a little boy. But he got 5 times as much food as any of his older brothers did.
Uh-huh.
Okay, chapter 44. As his brothers were preparing to return to Canaan, Joseph said to his steward, "Fill their sacks with food and put money in the sack's mouth, and put the silver cup in the mouth of Benjamin's sack." The steward did as Joseph asked, and the next morning Joseph's brothers left for home.
So what is Joseph finagling here, you think?
I don't know. This doesn't make much sense to me. He's going to trick them. He's purposely putting stuff in their sack to make it look like they're stealing his cup.
Uh-huh. So he's putting food in there as well.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. But
it's either extra food or it's the food that they bought.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the food part of it is. But the cup part is clearly he's trying to do it so that he can accuse them of stealing it.
It sounds
so
like
he's planning it. He's planning it in their bag. And then, we'll see what's happened next.
Okay, verse 4. After his brothers left the city, Joseph told his steward to catch up with them and say, "Isn't that Joseph's magic divining cup?" So he's going to stop them. He's going to say, "Let me look in your bags."
Yeah, he caught up with them. They left. He caught up with them. The steward that put it in there in the first place caught up with them and said, "Hey, isn't that..."
That's what he's supposed to say. And over here he
has... And the thing, it's interesting that it's a magic divining cup.
And what is it divining?
The future. So it's something that Joseph used. He didn't just interpret dreams just from scratch. He used the divining cup to kind of, I don't know about the dreams, but to help him to predict the future, is my guess. It's special.
Or maybe to look back in the past, or maybe to...
Well, it might be a crystal ball type thing. Yeah.
Okay. And the steward overtook them and said the words that Joseph told him to say. Joseph's brothers responded, "We didn't take it. If any among us has taken it, kill him and make the rest of us slaves." Okay, well, that seems a little silly.
Well, it seems silly. I mean, it seems pretty extreme. If I were them, I would say, we didn't take it.
No.
But if we did, it was by mistake, and we'll give it back. That's what I would say. I wouldn't say I'll kill my brother who took it.
Yep. All right. The steward found the cup in Benjamin's sack. Well, that is kind of weird.
Well, that's where they put it.
Well,
that's
yeah.
where he put it.
Yeah, I know, but... Benjamin's kind of a favorite.
Oh, I don't know why. I don't have no
Joseph.
idea why he put it in that sack.
So the brothers tore their clothes and returned to the city.
So this is another ripping their garments thing that happens a lot.
Because they're really upset.
Yeah. Or renting their garments is the way that King James Version puts it. So they're upset. Yeah. And they return to the city, back to the Egyptian city where they were, and go see Joseph, I guess. Okay, this is chapter 45, verse 1. Joseph finally identifies himself, saying, "I'm Joseph, the guy you sold."
Okay, Do you think by now they might have figured that out?
No, I don't think so. He's telling them right here. But that's okay. Don't be angry with yourselves. God has made me Pharaoh's father, Lord of his house, ruler throughout Egypt. Return to Canaan, tell my father how great I am, and return with my entire family. You'll live in Goshen, to be near me and safe from the famine. Joseph gave each brother a change of clothes, except for Benjamin, who got 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of clothes. The last verse is 25. When they arrived in Canaan, they told Jacob about Joseph, and Jacob decided to go see Joseph in Egypt.
I bet he would. He's very excited about his son not being dead. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
This is the first time he knows anything
That's
about
true.
Joseph.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
We're getting close to the end of
We are
Genesis.
getting close to the end of Genesis.
One more episode.
Great. Thank you so much for listening today, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.